Hello everybody, we're back with more MSQ, and I haven't done this in a while. I also forgot that I didn't even finish Lord of the Inferno. Ah, there you are, Miyoko. Come rest a while. You will have no better opportunity. After witnessing their god's ignominious defeat, the Amalja will be less inclined to risk our wrath, for a time at least. Now, where were we? Ah yes, I was in the process of apologizing. I do hope you can forgive me. I arrived too late to be of any use to you or the abductees. Yeah, that's a realm reborn in a nutshell. They may be whole of body, but the same cannot be said of their minds. For once a man is tempered. But it ill suits me to dwell on the negatives. Amidst all our misfortunes, there is still reason to rejoice. Ifrit is slain, and by your hand, no less. That is the deed of no ordinary individual, Miyoko. Not that I ever thought you were ordinary. On the contrary, I have long suspected that you have the potential to shape the fate of this realm. What can I say? My fine eye for talent remains undimmed. Minfilia will be proud beyond all reckoning when she hears of your deeds. I trust you shan't object to my bearing the tidings to her. That way I can claim to have contributed something to this mission. You meanwhile have earned yourself a rest. Take some time to relax, and return to the Waking Sands when you are good and ready. We can discuss matters in more detail then. Just don't take too long, will you? The realm's problems won't solve themselves. I love that Thancred legit feels like he didn't do jack shit. Where are my tickets? Where's my Vesper Bay tickets? Thank you, Vesper Bay tickets. Yeah, we'll need to do these blue quests here very soon. I think this lady gives optional dungeon, this lady lets us dye things and do glamours. Glamours are important. You know, you need to look cool. Hi, Totteru. Beep beep da deep beep boo doo boo bap ba deep beep ba da bop. Hello. Ah, the triumphant hero returns. Thancred told us the news upon his arrival. He is presently in the Solar, giving a full report to Lady Minfilia. You should join them at once. Lady Minfilia is most eager to see you. My late arrival nearly cost Miyoko her life. I wasn't there when the Amalja took her prisoner. And I wasn't there when they served her to Ifrit. Yes, by some miracle she survived, but that does not excuse the fact that she never have had to face such dangers alone. I failed her utterly. Aw, Thancred. Just as I'm failing you all. Yeah, you suck, bro. What's done is done, Thancred. You can't ill blame yourself for every... Miyoko, it's so good to see you again. Impeccable timing, my friend. I had just finished regaling Minfilia with your heroic exploits. Thancred has told me everything. You have done well to return to us. The perils you faced were undeniably great. Yet a part of me believes that I had no cause to fear, and now we can put paid to our long investigation. As we suspected, the Amalja undertook both the robbery and the abductions with the aim of summoning their primal Ifrit. Nor is this tale limited to Ul'dah. Similar incidents have been rife in both Limsa Lominsa and Gridania of late. I dare say you've been curious as to how these crimes are linked to the primals. Permit me to explain. Having manifested in the physical realm, primals must consume aether if they are to maintain their presence here. And the stronger they become, the more aether they require. Now aether exists throughout creation. It flows through all life and permeates the very air that we breathe. Alas, this alone will not suffice to sustain the likes of Ifrit. Nay, he and his kind require a more concentrated source of aether, crystals. It is for this reason that incidents involving crystals can often be traced back to a primal. Which leaves us with the why of the abductions. To understand this, you must first understand how primals are born. When all is well with the world, primals possess no physical form. Their essence is dispersed across the great river of aether. However, when the world is plunged into chaos, those who worship the primals cry out to their gods for deliverance from suffering. These cries serve as a beacon towards which a primal's essence is irresistibly drawn. It is this coming together, or etheric coalescence, which grants the being's physical form. Once born, a primal gains the strength from its followers' worship. The more numerous and fervent they are, the more powerful their god becomes. But the primals are seldom satisfied with such reverence, as their adherents freely give. In order to gain more power, they do not scruple to create followers. They do this by tempering mortals, a process to which you yourself were subjected. Yes, even as Ifrit took your comrades in his thrall, you alone remained unaffected. This is thanks to the power you possess, the Echo. We know not the why of it, but those blessed with the Echo are immune to primal influence. It is as though a greater power protects us. When you first came to us, I told you that the Echo would be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. I trust you now begin to see why. Recent incidents all share a common trait: meticulous planning. Such elaborate designs are a new development, and one which fills me with an unshakable sense of foreboding. While I share your concern, my presiding feeling is one of relief at your safe return. The immortal flames assured me that they will deal with the aftermath, so you need not concern yourself with that. We may rest easy for a time. I suggest you take full advantage of the respite, Miyoko. You may be sure it won't last long. Once people learn the identity of the hero who felled Ifrit, I fear you will have nary a moment to yourself. Whether she intended to or no, Ophelia neglected to tell you something. Something I think it would be best you heard from one of us. It concerns the tempered abductees that were rescued. I'm sorry to report that all are to be put to death. The flames with who you were in prison included. Needless to say, this information must not be made known to the public. I swear to you that we would not do this if there were any other recourse. But once a man is tempered, he is tempered for life. His very existence lends strength to the primal whom he cannot choose but worship. And so we Scions continued our fight, that no more innocents need be sacrificed. I hope that you will continue to stand with us, Miyoko. But I should be going. I must offer my apologies to the Flame General for the losses his people suffered. Till next time. You know, I forgot about that detail. Forgot that they put tempered people to death. Gods forgive me. How many more lives? Louisoix would never have allowed this to happen. I have to do better. I have to be stronger. Yeah, Thancred. Gotta be better. I don't know. Anyway, we will take no rest, and we'll start this next quest immediately. Ophelia is wearing a wry smile. Might it have something to do with your newfound flame? Until not so very long ago, you were but one of the many adventurers seeking to make their way into Eorzea. But for your character and courage, you are raised to the esteemed post of envoy. Thereafter, you travel the realm, aiding those in need without thought of reward, confirming to Yida and Papalimo that the Scions would benefit from your aid. And no sooner that you had joined us than you personally bested the primal Ifrit. Yeah, we're pretty cool. It's true. You have achieved a great deal in a short time, and won fame in doing so. In so doing. Alas, fame does not come without a price, as you will soon discover. Now everybody loves you. We have guests, Miyoko, or rather you have guests. Beg pardons. Oh no, it's the Grand Companies. Ah, Lady Minphilia, radiant as always. I'm given to understand that Signs of the Seventh Dawn have but welcomed a new hero into their midst. I'm here on behalf of the Maelstrom, Grand Company of Limsa Laminsa, to offer said hero a place to honor within our ranks. As you can see, Miyoko, your recent exploits have garnered you the attentions of the Grand Companies of Eorzea. Each organization would have Ifrit's Bane for its own. To this end, all three have sent officers to court you. They would not ordinarily go to such lengths to enlist a new recruit. That they have is evidence of their high regard for you. I found myself wondering how word of Miyoko's deed spread so quickly. That the Immortal Flame should know of her triumph is to be expected, but what of the other Grand Companies? Eep! Thanks, Tataru. Your reputation precedes you, Mistress Nayuki. It is no ordinary woman who can face a primal and emerge the victor. And imagine our pride when we learned that you began your journey as an adventurer in our own Gridania. You know the people hold you in high esteem, and that you will always be welcome among us. Order of the Twin Air has need of valiant women such as you. Join your strength to ours, friend, and let us together ensure that peace ever reigns over the Twelveswood. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you, Mistress Nayuki. My comrades speak of you in the most glowing terms. A woman of your talent belongs to the Immortal Flames. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us secure a prosperous future for Ul'dah. The Admiral was not exaggerating when she said you have the look of a hero. How often does she speak of you, friend? It's only natural that we would want you for the Maelstrom. Join your strength to ours. And together let us see the grand vessel of Limsa Laminsa to the shores of glory. Damn. Lady Minphilia. Ah, very well. Though I'm quite sure you need no reminding, mayhap a brief summary of the situation would help clarify your thoughts on the matter. As you know, the Grand Companies are all-encompassing organizations, empowered to call upon the martial, economic, and technological resources of their respective city-states in times of strife. There are presently 3 such organizations in Eorzea. The Maelstrom of Limsa Laminsa, the Order of the Twin Air of Gridania, and the Immortal Flames of Ul'dah. Serving a Grand Company means serving the nation to which it belongs. You will be charged with its defense, tasked with advancing its cause. In return for your faithful service, you will be furnished with various rewards, some of which may well prove useful to you in your other endeavors. If you are agonizing over which of the Grand Companies but best deserves your loyalty, be at ease. The commitment you make this day need not be permanent. Should you wish to shift your allegiance at a later date, you are entitled to do so. And yet I conclude that it is no small choice you face. A thought occurs to me. It will, of course, recall that 3 city-states are planning to hold remembrance services. Well, as part of the proceedings, I am given to understand that the leader of each Grand Company will deliver an address. Hearing these addresses ought to help you make an informed decision. What say you, my dear officers? A fine suggestion. You are as wise as you are beautiful, my lady. Very well. Let Miyoko hear our leader speak, and return here with her decision. We eagerly await your answer. I mean, I'm probably picking Gridania, but... you know. I know full well that the adventurers are by their nature a liberty-loving breed, and not best suited to the discipline of military service, but I strongly urge you to join a grand company nonetheless. While the promise of reward is enticing in itself, it is not the only benefit. You are possessed of great power, Miyoko, and with it you are capable of doing untold good. Yet know that great power is wont to attract attention, not all of it friendly. There will be those who wish you ill, and you must needs be on the lookout for them. Yet, however vigilant you are but one woman. In the midst of a grand company, however, you will be one woman amongst many, a friend amongst friends. Your achievements will be shared, and so will the danger. I can think of no better arrangement. Of course, joining one organization need not mean leaving another. Hope that we can continue to rely upon your aid. The 12 know that we will have need of it in the days ahead. The grand companies seek to protect their own nations. We Scions, on the other hand, seek to preserve the future of Eorzea as a whole. Similar, yet not quite the same. Now then, I expect that you will be afield more often in the future. As such, I would have you carry this link pearl with you at all times. It will allow us to stay in touch regardless of location. Eorzea is changing, Miyoko, and you have the power to help shape it anew. None can say what the morrow will bring, but so long as we believe in ourselves, there is naught we cannot achieve. Now it is time you made ready for your journey. Before you depart, be sure to speak to Tadru. She will apprise you as to where and when the remembrance services are due to take place. I forgot. I was going to change up the format of these videos a little bit, but I forgot that we're in, like, the Grand Company arc. But maybe I'll just, mostly keep it the same still. For this part. Because I kind of wanted to shove all this Grand Company stuff into the same video. It's going to take a bit. I'm sorry about all the attention you're getting, Miyoko. I might have sung your praises a little too loudly, and often, to a few too many people. Ahem. Next time, I'll be sure to hold my tongue. Literally, if necessary. Anyway, I expect you want to know where and when the remembrance services are taking place. If all goes to plan, Gridania's Grand Company, the Order of the Twin Adder, will hold the first of the 3 services. An elder Seed Seer Connie Senna will deliver her address at Miketo's amphitheater. You'll probably mention at this point that due to the organizational challenges involved in assembling all of the parties, possible that the order of the services might change. Still, there's not much we can do about that, so make Gridania your first port of call. Next, you'll need to go to Ul'dah, where General Raban will be addressing the masses at the Royal Promenade. Oh, and it's rumored that there's a special guest. How exciting! Last but not least, you must make your way to the stateroom in Limsa Laminsa, where Maelstrom Chief Admiral Merlwib Blofiswin be giving her address. The room is accessible via the Admiral's lift. Identify yourself to the sentry and he will admit you. Got all that? Oh, off you go then. I hope you find the remembrance suitably educational. Just visiting the city states of my described order, but with your with your record of impeccable timing and luck, the schedule may well change in favor of your preferred travel plans. Farewell. In other words, we're gonna tell you there's a schedule, but you can go to anyone you fucking want. It don't matter, man. Anyway, I'm gonna get Limsa out of the way first. Limsa's what I picked on my main character, so I'm probably not doing that again. I also think that most of this is like... Most of this is voice acted. Be quick, the Admiral's gonna give her shit in a moment. Yeah, whatever. I didn't read that whole box, but it doesn't matter.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The Crimson Field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the Black Longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom standard, and our grand company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners. And together, we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
Okay, Alphino.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuild. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The Sahagin
bastards.
have risen?
While the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crush against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now the Curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the Calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all.
Long live the Admiral!
And remove them!
Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the seven hells, Admiral!
If you'll permit me, Alfie, no.
Hello, Alpha now.
And my sister, Alize, at your service.
They're twins.
I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limsa is plagued by two beast tribes. First are the fish-like Sahagin, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Laminson's backyard. And that is to say, not of internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions. While they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans whet their blades and watch. The Laminsons are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect they will soon make decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom Standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond question. Thank you for the summary, Alphino. Thank you, Alice, for saying nothing. I mean, maybe I'll be surprised, because I've forgotten a lot of shit. But I remember Alice having no dialogue for most of this, and no personality really, because she doesn't have any time to express one. But oh well, what can you do? It's a realm reborn. Here's my destination.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamo herself!
And Roban as well!
He's a big man.
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore. Hurrah! Rauban! Where since antiquity Under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have brought sand into gold, where by the grace and glory of Naldal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Ya for Ul'dah!
Together we are one.
Your Grace.
Raban? People of Ul'dah, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn! Forsooth!
The time is now!
What is that voice? I'm sorry, I talked over the voice acting. And they're the Sultana! Jesus Christ. The Uldens have a long history of conflict with the Amalja, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. Yeah, we just killed Ifrit. The Uldens do not shy from confrontation if aught threatens their precious prosperity. They seek to crush it. They have dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves. And Ulda has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bombless. And even assuming they had the coin, the resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amalja are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Uldens send their forces to smite the Primal. And though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition, which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder, then, that the Immortal Flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventure of your experience would be most welcome addition to their ranks. Alright, one more. Probably the one we're picking. First one I heard, the Gridania lady's speech. Am I dumb? Yeah, I'm a little dumb. Anyway, the first time I heard the Gridania lady's speech, I thought, wow, this is like the most boring one out of the bunch. And I still kind of think that, but like, I don't know. I'm about to give her speech a second listen for the first time in over a year. So, let's see. Impress me, lady.
I lost my son to the calamity.
The 3 Seedseers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the Green Wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seedseer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice." Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk
Pox
the
on the
high
bloody
roads
Ixal.
without fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
Okay.
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you, join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder's standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity, we must think of the children.
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the
All
forest.
the elementals!
Fancy meeting you again.
Yeah. The Gridanians are unfortunate enough to have to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition, and want to summon their bloodthirsty primal Garuda. The Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridanians. Until recently, at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Ramu. Gridanians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict a last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it's broken. Sylphswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. People are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of the elementals, will put an end to their woes. Yet how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda, and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later, it will come to all-out war. And when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them, then? Well, perhaps we will find out if the Elder Seedseer's words fell on fertile ground. Alrighty. Am I done with the tour now? Miyoko, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final Remembrance service has now concluded? A moment ago, you say? What a coincidence. Jesting aside, I just remember a guest from the Grand Companies. Well, delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, get back here. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm still gonna pick Gridania. I don't know, it's either Gridania or Ul'dah. I feel like I've seen enough desert environments in my gaming life. Welcome back, Miyoko. Were the Grand Company leader's words as illuminating as you had hoped? Each nation is beset with problems. I trust you see now why your services are in such demand. Would that there were more of you, Miyoko. But you must be tired from your journey. Why don't you rest a while and take a moment to reflect on your decision? Once your mind is made up, pray give the Grand Company officers your answer. Yes. Oh boy, these two again.
The gods only know what grand company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies. As though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral Era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alize, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience. There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
My lady!
We are to escort you!
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
Oh boy. Select a grand company. You. I pick you. I take it the Elder Seeds here's words have touched your heart. Have we resolved to entwine your destiny with that of the Twin Adder? Yeah, let's do it. You've chosen wisely, my friend. The Elder Seeds here will be overjoyed. Without further ado, let us speak of practical matters. In order to complete the enrollment procedures, you must report to the Adder's Nest. Man, they're giving me yellow dye. I dare say you know it well from your wanderings in New Gridania. Give your name to the personnel officer there, and he will guide you through the formalities. I have no doubt that your needs will bring great honor to our order. When next we meet in Gridania, I shall be proud to call you sister. Oh, man. The good news is we're going to get a chocobo soon. So that's it's good to look forward to. Ba-diddy boop ba-da-ba beep biddy beep boo bop. Bop bop ba-da bop bop. You come to the Adder's Nest, headquarters of the Order of the Twin Adder. Ever do we welcome they who would toil in the Elemental's name for the good of our forest nation. My name is Miyoko. I believe you are expecting me. Ah, the great adventurer herself. Yes, our recruitment officer sent word that you are on your way. It is a pleasure and an honor both to welcome you to our ranks, friend. Now let me gather the relevant documentation. Sir. What is it? Report. An urgent message from Amorisike Spire, sir? A Highwind Skyways airship has taken fire from Imperial forces in the skies over the East Shroud. Vessel's engines were crippled, sir. It was forced to make an emergency landing southwest of Nine Ivies? Whatever the fuck. Gods, this could not have come at a worse time. All but a handful of our forces are presently afield dealing with the Ixal. Miyoko, I know you have not been formally induced into our ranks, but we have urgent need of your aid. In all likelihood, the airship was bearing civilians, and if the reports are accurate, will have come down dangerously close to Garlean-occupied territory. Please make all haste to the area southeast of Nine Ivies. Locate the airship and ascertain the status of the passengers. Yeah, nah, we'll do that next time. Bye, everybody. Bye. This has been long enough already.